Hello, guys. It is that time of the week where we get together and discuss the Premier League rundown. It's week 25. Awesome matches are taking place. We've got Nigel Seeley, Seeley_Nigel his Twitter handle, and we have got Alex from Need for Tips. Need for Tips is your Twitter handle as well. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah, Need for Tip, exactly our Twitter handle, and you can check us also on the site, also on Facebook. We are everywhere.
They're everywhere, including with us here, which is awesome. Alex has been with us for many years. He's a solid handicapper and delivers some great picks. So we're really pleased to have both Nigel and Alex with us. So week 25, we're powered by Pinnacle. So going to kick off Arsenal versus Hull. Arsenal 1.3, draw 6 and Hull 12. Now, Nigel, we just did a best bets video, and my bet was Arsenal minus 1.5, all of which everyone said that was an awful bet, both on the comments and the cappers. And so I'm a little bit nervous now, so dying to hear what you're going to go for.
It is an awful bet, Nat. It's a terrible bet. Arsenal are in shocking form at the moment. They've lost 2 back-to-back games in the Premier League. Confidence is really, really low at the club. Everyone wants Arsene Wenger out. This is going to be a nervy atmosphere at the Emirates. I think this is going to be a very, very nervy game. And Hull arrive are in absolutely unbelievably good form. Hull have won against Liverpool last time out. They got a draw at Manchester United. I know Manchester United played well in that game, and that give them massive confidence to have that kind of results as well. I think this is going to be really nervy. I do think Arsenal will have enough quality to win the game, because they always do. I'm going to go for Arsenal to win this to 0, because Hull haven't scored in their last 8 games away. 7 of their last 8 games away from home they haven't scored. 8 of them they haven't won. I give them a chance. I think Arsenal won't win it 1-0. 1.5 is a very brave call. I think Arsenal will just do the job. But I'm going for Arsenal to win to 0. I think it's just a bit bigger than even money, but bigger than 2.0. Yeah. I think it's a
yeah, you can get some bookies as well, 2.15. The common consensus, though, it's pretty much most people I've spoken to has been the both teams to score bet. So as a result, I'm afraid for my official record is going to be no bet. I've only got 2 no bets.
You haven't been speaking to very many clever people, because Hull just don't score goals. That's the problem. It means speaking to very silly people, I think. I think Hull just the time you just do not expect to. They went to Manchester United with one objective, to get a 0-0 draw. They accomplished that. I think they do exactly the same at Arsenal, but Arsenal have too much. Arsenal haven't lost 3 consecutive Premier League games for almost 3 years, and I don't think they will lose 3 consecutive games.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody's actually saying as well, draw it at 30 minutes in the Arsenal game, 1.83. Not a bad bet. Arsenal can be slow to start.
I think it could be a draw at 80 minutes. I think Arsenal might score right at the lane. I'm a season ticket holder at Arsenal for 2 or 3 seasons. The amount of times I left the ground with my boy and to get to the early train and we missed the goal, it's incredible. They score more late goals than anybody.
Yeah.
Because they grind teams down, and they just find the way to get through. And I think Wenger will find the way to get a result. 1-0. They just need 3 points. Doesn't matter if it's 5-0, 6-1, whatever. They just need 3 points. I think they'll get a 1-0 win. And I think if Arsenal to win 2-0, I just can't see Hull scoring.
Yeah. Well, another bet as well, actually, just generally with playing Arsenal could be, you can play like the first goal scorer and the last goal scorer, or to score a goal, maybe bet on Arsenal if the price is right. Alex, what are you going for?
I have 2 tips. As I mentioned also earlier on a previous filming, I said that we might assist at a draw at halftime, which is not a bad bet from my point of view. But I disagree with Nigel in this one. Maybe the first one after 3 weeks. Arsenal has a really shaky defense, so I think that Hull can score at least 1 time in front of them. And I think that we should do this personal bet between us. Both teams to score for me 1.95. And before to go on the next match, I think that you should tell to everybody, because everybody is asking where is JJ? JJ is a legend. No, JJ, Gary Galbert, also Ayash China. Also the first comment. I think that you should explain to everyone.
Don't really know how to answer that one. JJ's currently in London, so he's got some stuff to do in London, and who knows, we'll wait and see. Moving on, would you be surprised if Hull won? I wouldn't be surprised. Would you, Nigel, if Hull won, would you be surprised?
I'll be very surprised, because they don't score enough to win. I think they might get a draw. I think the game plan will go there to get a draw, like it was against Manchester United. That would be my reservation. And I've seen so many teams go to the Emirates to try to get a draw, almost get it for 89 minutes, 87 minutes, and then skip by the counter-attack. And I think that's what will happen here. I just think Arsenal will have too much for them, and Arsenal win it 1-0.
All right, there we go. Okay, moving on. Manchester United versus Watford. Man United 1.25, draw 6.5, Watford 15. All those odds with Pinnacle because we're powered by Pinnacle. That's one of the best odds in the industry there. Now, I think Manchester United price is really low. You compare their home and away form, both Manchester United's and Watford's. It's pretty much neck and neck. And don't forget their last home match, Manchester United, they drew to Hull 0-0. I think this is going to be a super close match, and I think there's a lot of value actually in Watford. And don't forget as well, Manchester United, funny enough, if you remember sort of a couple of seasons ago, the Devils at home were sort of unbeatable. Now they're actually better on the road, strangely enough. Watford +2 is my bet, giving them a 2-goal lead there for Watford. 1.7. Going to start with you, Alex.
I didn't find a lot of value in this match. For me personally, it's really a hard match to bet on the winners market. But I love the over 2.5 goals at 1.7. And you know what? Maybe a goal scorer, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, to score in the game. I think that it has really big potential to be a winner tip. I mean, Zlatan to score in the game, doesn't matter which goal, the first, second, doesn't matter. But I really love also the over 2.5 goals at 1.7. I think it has a huge value.
Yeah, that's exactly what our friend Stuart at Tipster HQ, he's like Manchester United all the way and goals. Are there going to be goals here, Nigel? What's your bet for this match?
Well, I think Man United will win it. I think there's going to be a lot of Man United goals rather than Watford goals. Watford on the back of 2 successive Premier League games, wins for the first time since September. They beat Man United 3-1 at Vicarage Road, but this is a very, very different Man United side. Man United don't beat teams convincingly. But I do think they'll win, and I do think they'll win well. I don't think Watford will score. I think Watford have had a great run, and I think the run they've had already has probably almost secured them Premier League football for next season. So I think they might take their foot off the gas a little bit. I'm going to go for Manchester United run, an unbelievable Premier League run at the moment. I think they've only lost once in 15 games or something like that. I'm going to go for Man United to win 2-0 again, which may bring the over 2.5. Wouldn't be surprised to see Man United win 2 or 3-0, but Man United to win 2-0 again for me is the bet I'm having in this one.
Is it? I'd be leaning on more towards both teams to score than win 2-0. Alex, which way do you lean on that one? Both teams to score or win 2-0? Or neither?
I think maybe winning 2-0, but it's a pass for me. I don't like this market inside this match. Watford might be a surprise to score. Might not be a surprise to score against Manchester United, but for me personally, it's a risk. Man United is really awkward when they are playing small teams. So I think that we should take what is given to us. So over 2.5 goals. I think that we will see goals. Maybe Manchester United can cover free from by themselves. 1.7 is a really good bet.
All right. Liverpool versus Tottenham, the big clash of the weekend. Liverpool 2.25, draw 3.4, and then Tottenham 3.5. Liverpool obviously going through a bad run right now, haven't won a match in 5, and they've also lost their FA Cup match to Wolves 2-1. That was an Anfield, a pretty shocking result there. They lost their last match to Hull 2-0. I'm actually leaning towards the Tottenham side on this one, and I really like this bet. I'm taking Tottenham and the draw, a double chance, 1.7. Nigel, do you think Liverpool can get anything out of this, or is this Tottenham's to lose?
I think this is a really, really tricky game to call because Liverpool have got a fantastic record against the big clubs and a terrible record against the little clubs. And Tottenham.
You said that also in the previous. You said that also in the previous round, and it didn't happen like that.
Well, in what round? The whole game?
But no. You said that Liverpool is having when they played with Arsenal. If I remember correctly.
When they played with Chelsea, I said they have a great record against.
With Chelsea, yeah, exactly.
So what I'm saying was absolutely right, Alex. You got to clean your ears out. When they play good teams, they play really, really well. When they play bad teams, they get beat. like exactly my point I made last week when they played Hull, when they got beat, and when they played Chelsea, they got beat. So they played Tottenham. So with their form, you expect them to lose the game, but on what they do against the big teams, you expect them to win the game. Historically, this game always...
They didn't lose with Chelsea.
Goals. Well, they drew, but that's what I'm saying. They never get beat by the big sides. They always do well against the big sides, but they do badly against the teams when they're favourites. They got their favourites against Plymouth. They're favourites against Southampton. They're favourites against Wolverhampton. They're favourites against Swansea. They all got beat, and they're heavy odds on. The minnows, but you can trust them to do well.
Yeah, but I think that they got lucky drawing with the Chelsea. I think that they got really lucky on that match.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I've got no view on this game. I think it could be absolutely anything, and it's very unusual for me to pass on such a big, high-profile game. But I think the doubts around Liverpool, there's goals historically when these two sides play. But at the moment, Liverpool games producing under goals. All the markets for me look no bet. I'll watch it and enjoy it. Hopefully, enjoy a 2-2 or 3-3 thriller. But for me, I'm not betting on it.
I'm going to make a bet that it isn't going to be a 3-3 thriller, but that would be awesome. It's all right. So it's a no bet for you, Nigel. What are you going for, Alex?
No,
I'm on your side, but we have to check a little bit the bookies because double chance is exactly like plus 0.5. But on your double chance, you get 1.7. On my point plus 0.5, you get 1.78.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same bet, different names, but every time when you're looking at a double chance, please look also at plus 0.5 or depends, minus 0.5 because it really gives us a better odds.
Yeah, no, that's actually very, very true. Sometimes the odds do differ. Okay, so both Alex and I are going for that Tottenham double chance. Might also reign some if you said that Liverpool don't lose to the big names, then maybe we are looking at a draw. I know quite a few people. Stuart from Tipster HQ, I think he was going for the draw. That I can see a few comments on here as well, going for the draw. So maybe it will be that 3-3 thriller, Nigel. That would be pretty awesome. Okay, Stoke versus Crystal Palace. Stoke 2.1, draw 3.4, Crystal Palace 3.8. This, I have to say, is a no bet. This is my only second no bet here. Crystal Palace have a really good record against Stoke. They won their last 5 meetings, but Crystal Palace are really suffering at the moment. They lost to Sunderland 4-0 over the weekend. How they bounce back from that remains to be seen. And Stoke can be tough at home. I'm probably siding towards Stoke, although I'm worried about the draw, also leaning towards both teams to score. But this is a no bet. Nigel, take it away.
It's a tricky one. I was looking at a no bet in this game. I thought it was a very hard one to call, but then I just saw the repeat of how Crystal Palace defended last week against Sunderland. They were absolutely diabolical. Big concern if you're taking Crystal Palace. A big concern if you think they're going to stay up. Sam Allardyce has come in, former England manager, after one game, and he's been useless. Has won one game in the Premier League. And Stoke, as you say, is a tough place to go. I think 2.1 is a big price for Stoke. I think Palace will concede. It's a game that Stoke probably need 2 more wins and probably they'll be fine in the Premier League. Palace desperate for points, defending atrociously, all over the place, lost morale, no goals in the side. Benteke just doesn't look like he's interested. And I think Stoke will win this possibly by more than 1 goal, but I'm going to go Stoke to win. I can't back Palace with anyone's money.
No, I certainly wouldn't either. Also, like you said, though, they, whether they'll concede both teams to score could be a bet. Alex, what do you like?
I wanted to ask Nigel, one of our friends, Gary Colbert, is asking Stoke and the over 1.5 goals, that's 2.5. Do you think that is a good bet?
I think that's a good bet. I think Palace just can't keep clean sheets. Stoke are going to score at least 1, and they may even score 2. I mean, I think of the two sides, Stoke are just a little bit better form. Stoke have been a much more entertaining side this season, and Palace defensively are atrocious. So, yeah, I think Stoke will win, and yes, potentially over 1.5 goals as well. So I like that, Gary. I like that bet a lot. Nice.
All right, Alex.
I'm going with both teams to score. I know that Stoke is difficult to play when they're playing on their turf, but also Crystal Palace. If we take a look at their games, only in the last game they lost 4-0 with Sunderland home. But that doesn't say anything to me. So both teams to score for me at 2.05 actually is a really, really good bet.
Okay. Sunderland versus Southampton. Obviously, Sunderland pulled one of the biggest upsets, I think, of the weekend, 4-0. So we've got Southampton 2.05, draw 3.5, and Sunderland 4.1. So Saints are struggling right now. Southampton seem to be sort of like turning things around. They drew to Tottenham 0-0. And then obviously last weekend, they won 4-0 against Crystal Palace, albeit a team also fighting relegation. Going to start with you, Alex. What do you like?
You know what? I will follow Nigel here because I read his emails a few hours ago, and I will say double chance Sunderland or plus 0.5 for Sunderland, 1.91. He said to us in the previous week and also 2 weeks ago that Southampton qualified in the final of the cup, so they will not they will nothing to play for. Sunderland plus 0.5 for double chance, wherever you find the better odds. 1.91 is what I found.
All right. Has he been reading your emails, Nigel?
He always reads my emails. He's definitely been reading them. And I tell you what, I think this is one of the better bets of the Premier League weekend. I think Southampton, as I said, the team, I think at 66-1, they're a decent trading price for relegation. They've got no goals in them. Defensively, Van Dijk is out, which is a massive, massive blow. I watched the game last week against West Ham. They played Bertrand, who's a left-back, as centre-half. Defensively, they look like they're going to concede every time. West Ham were brilliant in that game, and they just tore Southampton apart. And Southampton are a side I just think going to ease up. I was very tempted to back Sunderland just to win the game.
Yeah.
I thought it was a big, big price for him to win the game, but I was going to side on caution a little bit, and I agree with Alex. I'm going to go for Sunderland plus a half. I can't see Sunderland losing this game. They need the points desperately. They're at the bottom of the table. They're coming on the back of their best performance of the season, and Southampton are a side to avoid at all costs at the moment. Sunderland plus a half.
There, so what odds do you have for that?
1.91.
1.91. Okay. Yeah. Well, we've all been reading your emails, Nigel, because I'm also going for Sunderland and the draw, and I found those odds of 1.8. So 2 of the 3 options there. Sunderland are a stronger team at home, and I think, like you just said, Nigel, coming off some of the best football that they've played all season. Is it a little too late? Time will tell. But this is a must-win for them if they really want to pull themselves out of 19th position. Okay. Middlesbrough.
One second, Natalie. Sorry. Flo Diacono is asking Nigel. He's saying I would never bet on Sunderland. Bad manager, bad team, no value, and don't forget that Southampton signed a really good player recently. So, what do you say, Nigel?
First of all, who's the really good player they bought? He scored a goal. He's the guy who scored the goal last week. But this is, let's see how good he is going to South Sunderland on a freezing cold day. But everyone said Sunderland have been bad for the last 2 seasons. They're an equally bad manager. They're bottom of the table. They're heavy odds on to get relegated. But this is what Sunderland the fans expect them to be. They expect them to be bottom of the table. They always turn it around the last part of the season. Always a tough place to go. When the crowd are behind them, it's a tough place to go. Southampton have no form, no defence, no striker, no chance.
So that's what Nigel thinks about that. There we go. Yeah, and Stuart from Tipster HQ also says didn't help them in the last game. And people are saying don't back Sunderland. I like the bet. So there we go.
That's one thing. I think Van Dijk, the centre half for Sunderland, is probably one of the most influential players to a side in the Premier League. With their win ratio and loss ratio when he's not in the side is absolutely huge. He's a big target for some of the big clubs. Losing him for 3 months and then taking out your top goal scorer, Charlie Austin, as well, is 2 players that Southampton cannot replace.
Yeah,
and expect to win. And the two sides, Sunderland need the points a lot more. And I think you'll see a big performance from Sunderland this one because they'll think they've got a great chance to beat them. And I don't think the bookies' prices are right.
Yeah. Any multi-team bets with nice odds? Do you know what? We don't have. Well, maybe at the end we can have a chat, but that could be something that we could add in. Definitely, sort of like our Premier League ACCA as well. So something to think about. But Middlesbrough versus Everton. Everton 2.1, draw 3.3. Middlesbrough 4. Everton seem to be the team to back, but they struggle on the road. But and I said it in the best bets video. I'm going to say it again now. It's not that I'm backing backing Everton. I'm almost backing Middlesbrough's awful run right now, and because of that, I see no other outcome than an Everton win, an away win, 2.1, and I'm just going to take that straight up. Nigel, what's your thoughts?
This was another game that I looked at, and there was two areas I was going to go for. I was going to go for under 2.5 goals, or I was going to go for Everton to win, and I opted for Everton to win. I don't think all is well at Middlesbrough. I think the manager has lost the dressing room. I think they've got problems scoring goals. I know Everton's away form is pretty poor, as you said, but they're a side on the up at the moment. Their side coming the back of this game, scoring 6 goals and 4 of them for Lukaku last week. That is a huge morale-boosting win, especially for that player. He'll be walking around Middlesbrough, the Riverside, think he's the king of the world. And against a team that are lower confidence, I think Everton win this at 2.1.
Okay. What are you going for, Mr. Reader of the emails?
Now I think that he was reading my emails because we talked with each other. If you remember 2-3 days ago when we previewed this match, Natalie, I'm all over Everton. Actually, this is one of my bankers for this week. 2.1 is an incredible odd. So yeah, this time I think that Nigel is stealing from me, right?
No, he probably watched our video, Alex. That's what happened.
Yeah, he
Watched all the
watch
videos before getting the information for his tips for the show. Isn't that right, Nigel?
Oh yeah, I do all my research by watching your videos. I make sure that I watch it. Now I'm always watching the videos on the show, but I didn't actually watch that one. I think the fact is it's such a good price that we all just can't miss it. 2.1.
Yeah.
But you know what happens whenever everybody agrees that a team win, that's always a bad sign for me.
No, it's right. I think Everton's such a good price. Definitely want to back. Okay, moving on. West Ham versus West Brom. West Ham 2.25, draw 3.4. West Brom 3.6. All those odds with Pinnacle. 9th and 8th. West Ham 9th. West Brom 8th on the table. I think what is very clear here is the home advantage, and West Brom just don't travel well. 3 wins compared to 7 home wins, and I think with that in mind, I am just going to take this straight West Ham win. Not even a draw, no bet, nothing like that. In fact, actually, I don't think there's value to do that. 2.25 straight West Ham win. Nigel.
Very difficult, and the reason why I think this is difficult is because West Ham have a lot of injuries. Obviously, they've lost Dimitri Payet. They've got doubts about Andy Carroll. They've got doubts around Cresswell, the left back, and they've got doubts about Kouyaté. You take those 3 players and Payet at the side, they're a bang average team. So for me, no bet until I see the team. I think the team news is absolutely crucial in this game. If Andy Carroll lines up, Cresswell and Kouyaté play, yeah, I agree with you. But they've got late fitness tests. They're rated about 75% chance not to play. And I think it's not worth having a bet until we see the team that comes out of the London Stadium.
All right, so this is an in-play bet for you, something that maybe you'll take as soon as you see the starting lineup.
If I see the West Ham lineup and I see those 3 players participating in, I will be backing West Ham. But I think the reason they're the price they are is because of those injury concerns. Yeah,
not a bad call. Not a bad call at all. So right now, for the purpose of this video, it's a no bet.
It's a no bet for me. 2 no bets this week. This is my second no bet.
All right. Okay, so over to you, Alex.
You know that I don't have a no bet option on my calendar, so I will bet what I am taking the best value from every match. I am really glad that our friends that are watching us, like Flo Diaconu, like Gary Colberg, are saying over 2.5 goals in the game. What it says here, West Ham 2.15, over 2.5 goals in the game. This is my best pick for this match.
All right. Slightly off subject, Nigel. Do you cover second division in Championship League in England?
Oh yeah.
Do you? Is that what you do bets on there as well?
Yeah, I mean, I find there's much more value in League Championship and League 2 and League 1 with team news. I think team news is the most important thing for any football bettor. You know, we can all have a view now, but if a team certainly lose certain key players, that's a massive factor.
Yeah.
Now, for me, that game, I mean, all the stats will point to goals, but if Andy Carroll, they have no striker. They don't know, and there's no Payet. It makes a very, very big difference. Without Payet now, they're playing everything direct to Andy Carroll. And it's even more so in the Championship and even more so in League One and League Two the further we go down. So team news is crucial for me. And especially around key players, I'm a bit sceptical to get involved until I see the team that comes out. But yeah, Championship football. I like Sheffield Wednesday a lot tomorrow on the Friday night football to beat Burnley.
No, just as it just came into my mind actually, because I think we might do a rundown next week for the Championship. Because I do know there's some extra value there. Anyway, I'll get back to the Premier League. I was just wondering. Okay, Swansea versus Leicester. Swansea 2.45, Leicester 3.1, and the draw 3.2. All those odds with Pinnacle. Nigel, what are you going for?
You can't really back Leicester with anybody's money at the moment, can you? I mean, they're next week they've got a massive Champions League game coming up against Seville. Seville 1.5 to qualify from that tie is one of the best bets you'll see all season. But Leicester are in shocking form. They haven't won away from home all Premier League. Swansea are turning their fortunes around, and Swansea are a big price for me. I think to Liverpool and won. They won last week as well. Totally in disarray. I think of all the teams in the Premier League, only Leicester and Bournemouth are the worst. And I think Swansea are a bet just to win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was still speaking. I thought he was still speaking. So you're going for Swansea to win the game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm not far behind you actually. I'm just going to do Swansea draw no bet. Leicester, it's always a team that, you oppose at all costs on the road, but surely they're not going to go through an entire season. And they have actually picked up a couple of draws recently. So I am going to play Swansea draw no bet, just as a safer option, because I do still like the value there, 1.71. I also like both teams to score, but my official bet is Swansea draw no bet. Alex, what are you going for?
I'm going with Mr. Pips. Both teams to score at another 1.8. I think that everyone thinks that I'm crazy, that the trend is the under 2.5 goals in the match, if we're talking about Leicester and Swansea. But I think that it's a really good bet to take both teams to score. Leicester are with a good moral after qualifying further in the FA Cup, after extra time, I believe. Yesterday it was the match, so I think that they will put some problems to Swansea, but I think that they will concede also at least one time.
Okay, and Vardy to score, Alex, would you bet on that?
No, Vardy is in a really bad shape. I don't think that it's risky to say that a name from Leicester, either Mahrez, either Vardy, either Slimani, they can do the trick and score. One of them will score, but maybe it will be a midfielder. Maybe it will be one player from the back. Who knows? Maybe a headache. Maybe something. No Vardy to score.
What did you say? A headache? Maybe a headache.
A header. Sorry.
All right. Two more matches to preview. Obviously, Sunday 12th, Burnley versus Chelsea. Really interesting match here. Dying to talk to you about this one. Nigel as well. Obviously, I've spoken with you, Alex. Chelsea 1.44, draw 4.65, Burnley 9. All those odds with Pinnacle. I think it's Burnley have been the team to back, and I know you've agreed with this, Nigel. They've been the team to back on their turf, avoid at all costs on the road. They've actually got better stats at home than Chelsea do on the road. Dare we take Burnley at the good old price of 9, or even play something like a draw no bet? Is there a way? Do you think Burnley are going to get anything out of this, or is Chelsea, in the end of the day, too strong for them? What are you going for, Nigel?
I think my heart's telling me that Burnley will get something. My head's telling me Chelsea. So I wouldn't be rushing to back anything game. The one thing I will do say is I think there's not going to be many goals in this game. I think it's going to be very to play Chelsea. And I think the under 2.5 goal here market offers some fantastic value at around about, I think it was even money, 2.0. So I'm going for a very low scoring goal. I think Chelsea might nick it 1-0. It could be a 0-0 draw, but I think this will be a very, very tough match for Chelsea.
We lost him.
For Burnley +1.5 or +1. I'm going for under 2.5 goals.
Yeah. Well, Nigel, we're definitely on agreement here. During our best bets video, we all agreed it was going to be a tough match, a close match, a tight match. You know, those are the words that we were using. I'm actually going to take, as a result, I'm taking Burnley plus 1.5. Can't believe the value I'm getting on this one. 1.74. So if we are going to see that draw or Chelsea nick it by 1 goal, that bet is a banker. I really love this bet. Wouldn't be surprised with the draw, and I actually wouldn't be surprised of a Burnley win. Alex, over to you.
I will be surprised if Burnley will win this one, but they will put a lot of problems to Chelsea. Talking about Burnley's matches at home, only in 2 occasions they didn't score, against Arsenal and against Swansea. So I think that they can score against Chelsea. Flo Diacono likes to know if Chelsea -1 is a good bet. I think it's a good bet, given the fact that I fancy Chelsea to win. And in case if they win at 1 goal difference, we will take our money back. But my best pick for this match is both to score at 2.25.
Yeah, I wouldn't play the -1. Would you play the -1, Nigel?
No, I wouldn't. I think Chelsea will be delighted with a 1-0 win here. I think they'd be delighted with coming away with 3 points. I think it's going to be very, very close. I can't see them winning 1 more.
Well, I suppose
early in the handicap for me.
Yeah. Well, I suppose even if they do win at 1 goal, at least you get your money back. What did you think of my bet though? Burnley plus 1.5.
I like that. I think Chelsea have to go and win 2 or 3-0. I mean, 1-0 wins is a brilliant result for them, and that's what they've done throughout the years. Chelsea Football Club gone to places like this and won 1-0. I think there'll be a business as usual for Chelsea, but this will be definitely under 2.5 goals.
Yeah, and then Ad Hoc is asking why am I taking plus 1.5 instead of +1? Because of +1, if they it only gives them a 1 goal lead. It just gives me better odds for them to win this. So it's less value, but I've got better chance of it coming in.
Yeah, if they win by 1 goal difference at +1, you take out your money back. If they draw at +1.5, it's a winner, you know.
Yeah. Well, if they draw, the +1 is also a winner. But if they lose 2-1, then the bet. So yeah, if they lose 2-1 or if they lose 1-0, if they lose by 1 goal, then my bet is void. But if I take the plus 1.5, then my bet's a winner.
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully that makes sense. Bournemouth versus Manchester City, and that's Monday's match here. Not a bad match. Man City 1.5, draw 4.8, and Bournemouth 7. This is definitely one of my bankers, if not the main one here. Bournemouth haven't won a match in 5. Obviously, Man City 3 back-to-back wins, 2 of them to 0. I am taking the reverse, obviously 4-0 to Citizens at Etihad Stadium. I'm taking Man City -1, 1.77. And personally, I wouldn't put anybody off the -1.5, but I think for me, there's enough value at the -1 there, 1.77. Alex, I know you agree with me on this one.
Yeah, 1.73. I found the best bets for -1 Asian handicap. So do shop around for the best odds that you can find on the market. It's a must win for City. They are far better than Bournemouth. Gabriel Jesus is a really good player that they signed, and he can do the difference. We saw him in the last 2 matches. Last time, after 94 minutes, he scored the 2-1 for Manchester United to win the match. I think that they can win at 2 goals and more, but to play safer, as you said, 1.7 and something. For me, 7.3. For you, 7.7. For -1 Asian handicap is really good. We lost Nigel for a few times now. So Jesus, yes, Jesus, Gabriel Jesus. It's correct, Jesus, not Jesus. You know?
Yeah, Jesus. We have Jesus's. It's like a Spanish name, Jesus. All right, listen, though, we haven't done this before, but I think, okay, so you've got to do a 2-team parlay and your absolute banker. What will it be? We haven't prepared this, so I'm just going to come up with one. Go on.
My absolute banker will be City at -1 Asian handicap. My absolute banker, and my 2 teams parlay. Chelsea to win the match and Everton to win their match. My two teams parlay, that is.
Are you? I'm gonna do a 2-team parlay, City on the road, Manchester City on the road, and Everton. And then my banker, well, you did the Man City -1, so I'm gonna do Burnley plus 1.5, 1.74. So there we go. And Nigel said, let me see if I can quickly get like what's your tip, Nige, for the Bournemouth game? Because he missed it for the Bournemouth game. I'm just on Skype, just asking him. See what he says. He's typing. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to go for the plus Burnley plus 1.5. Anyway, though, next week we are going to give it a go. Championship rundown. See what the response is. There's a few of us that do know our championship teams, so we're going to bring that over on video because really some really good value. Do you follow championship, Alex?
No, but some of our tipsters from Need for Tips are following, and he might help if you want. He's also from England. He knows what he's talking about, yeah.
Okay, good. Always nice to meet the crew from Need for Tips. Okay, so Nigel's going for Man City win and the over 2.5 goals. I can see that. What do you think?
Yeah, also that is an interesting. City to win and over 2.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I think that they can score on their own 3 goals against Bournemouth, but I prefer ours, -1 Asian handicap.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Also, guys, stay tuned as well because we've got the Champions League and Europa League next week. What we're going to do is we're going to do a show in the morning with a group of the regular guys, give our tips for that day. So we're going to do it like on Tuesday, and then midway through the match at half time, we'll come together, see how our tips are doing, if there's any other tips that we can give for the second half of the match. So some in-play betting as well. Oh, here he is. Nice.
Sorry about that. I don't know what's happening. My internet's not very good. How we gone to Man City game?
Yeah, we've just finished. So, what was I going to say? So I gave your tip, Man City, and the over 2.5 goals. But if you can think of one quickly, have you got a 2-team parlay or Akabet, and then your banker?
Okay, the 2-team parlay would be. My banker would be Sunderland plus 0.5 against Southampton.
Mm-hmm.
And my parlay bet will be Manchester City to beat Bournemouth with Everton.
Yeah, nice. Okay, good one. All right. So yeah, Nick will be there next week. Someone's asking as well, do you have any female tipsters, Alex?
Yeah, I think that, and he says after or sausage fest. No, now we don't have female tipsters. We cannot compare with any female tipster. Natalie is the best female tipster in the world, so it doesn't.
We're rare. There's not many of us.
We don't need a female tipster more than Natalie.
All right, awesome stuff. So stay tuned. We've got plenty of stuff coming up next week. Obviously, a daily coverage for the Champions League and Europa League, and also introducing a championship rundown as well. Guys, thank you so much. Nigel and Alex, thank you for your tips. See you next week. Best of luck. And to you guys at home, thank you for watching.
Have a good weekend, guys.